Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you had an amazing Rosh Hashanah. It was very inspiring. We are now on the third day of Tishrei. Today is a fast day, so I'm wishing everybody a easy and meaningful fast for Tzom Gedalia. And now that we're in Tishrei, we're in the, what we call the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, which are the 10 days of Teshuvah. So the Hayom Yom starts with today talking about Teshuvah, and then over the next couple days we'll talk about more of the details and ways of different types of Teshuvah. Today is long, it's complex. I want to try to keep it simple, and then I'll read it inside. But essentially, what is being talked about today is there are two different names of God. One is the name, what we say is Yud Ke Vav Ke. It's using the letters Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, which is also referred to Havaya, which means it's the name of God that is used for divinity, that it transcends nature, above. And then there's another name of God that we use, which is Elokecha or Elokim, which is your God. However, this term or this use of the name is more for a natural order, something for more that's in nature. This is the name that's used for everything that's here, that's tangible. So ideally, the teaching of today's Hayom Yom is about these two different words, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll go to the message. Please bear with me. It's a long one. I'm going to read it as quickly as I can, but I also want to make sure that you get the points. So, for the third of Tishrei, today's extra three Tehillim are Tzadik Daled, Tzadik Hey, Tzadik Vav, which is 94, 95, and 96. And being the year 1943 when Hayom Yom was put together, this was a Shabbos on Monday. Today it's Monday, but the Hayom Yom would have been on Shabbos. So here's some instructions. So when it comes to Kabbalah Shabbos, when it comes to Friday night, as we're davening, we begin with Mizmor LeDavid instead of L'chuna Ranana, and this applies whenever a festival ends on a Friday evening. So just a quick note that anytime on a Friday night it's Yantiv, we always skip the first couple of pages and we start with Mizmor LeDavid. Also, the Haftarah for Shabbos Parshas Teshuvah, which begins with Shuvah and concludes with Mi El Kamecha, which Mi Me Kedem. Again, we'll discuss it on, or you'll get to it on Shabbos in your shul. Now, for the third of Tishrei, during the Yechidus of the Tzemach Tzedek with the Alter Rebbe, on Monday, Parshas Kiseitze, on the 6th of Elul in 1804, the Alter Rebbe told him as follows: on Shabbos Parshas Kisavo in 1768, my mentor and master, the Maggid of Mezrich, delivered a teaching that opened with the verse, V'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha, that you shall return to Havaya God Elokecha, your Lord. So just a little bit of information right there. The Maggid of Mezrich is who gave over this Devar Torah. And the Alter Rebbe is sharing this Devar Torah, and it's being related over by the Tzemach Tzedek. And it says that you shall return Havaya, your God, Elokecha, your Lord. What does that mean? You shall return to Hashem, your God. Seems like a double phrase of Havaya and Elokecha. So the Maggid understood this verse as implying you shall return until Havaya is Elokecha, and explained that one must bring one's divine service of Teshuvah to the point of Havaya, which is the aspect of divinity that transcends all worlds, because Elokecha is your God. That's a lot. So basically what is being said today is that we're changing the words a little bit, where we're saying you shall return to Hashem your God. That is the literal meaning, but essentially what he's saying is that you should return until you take Havaya, which is the highest level of God's name, to Elokecha. You're trying to change or transform this higher level of God to a more mundane, or I don't know if the right word is mundane, to a more natural Elokecha, which is God on a more natural way. We're trying to bring God to a more natural way that we can relate to Him on our daily basis in doing our teshuvah. And he went on to say that the name Elokim has the same numerical value as Hateva. So if you actually took the gematria of Elokim and Hateva, which means nature, they actually have the same value, stating that the name Elokecha, which is the name of God, is a name that is used for nature, for something natural, for using something that's tangible in our world. This link is exemplified in the verse in the beginning. Elokim created, as we say when God created the world. The natural world came into being through the name Elokim. Right? We say Bereshis bar Elokim. The name of God Elokim is used. Therefore, the term Elokecha, your God, refers to the same divine power within this life energy of natural. So this teaching was a very high teaching, and it was a very deep teaching, and many of the Hasidim were excited about it. And there was one Chassid, and his name is Reb Meshulam Zusha of Anipoli. We've mentioned him before. He was also a colleague of the Alter Rebbe. And he says this concept of Teshuvah is so high that he couldn't reach it. So what he was saying, in order for us to be able to get to that level, we need to break it down into smaller ways to get there. And what he did now is he said the way to connect, to accomplish this mission, instead of just jumping and making this happen, he broke the word Teshuvah down. Teshuvah is spelled Taf, Shin, Vav, Vez, Hey. And what he did is he created a path for each one. So let's read inside more about Reb Zusha. And he said that in order to reach Teshuvah, what he did is he pointed out this acronym, and he broke down the word Teshuvah. Teshuvah stands for, the letter Taf will be Tamim Tiyeh Im Hashem Lekecha. Trust your God, your Lord, with simple faith. Then he took the letter Shin, which means Shavisi Hashem Lenegdi Samid. I have placed God before me at all times. Then he took the letter Vav, which stands for V'ahavta l'recha kamaycha, love your neighbor as yourself. And then Beis b'chol derechecha de'eyu, know him in all your ways. And then Hey, which is Hatznei Alachem im Hashem Lekecha, walk humbly with God your Lord. Now, each one of these verses is another way to do Teshuvah. So over the next couple days, we will go through each one of these phrases. And then at the end of the Hayom Yom, the Rebbe Rayatz answered that when the Rebbe Rashab gave this over, he mentioned that the word Teshuvah, which also has the 5 letters, representing distant paths, like we just talked about, and we will be talking about over the next couple days. He also explains how do you achieve all these different paths, and we'll discuss it, of course, is through tefillah, through our davening. So today's Hayom Yom is a lot. There's a lot of detail, but essentially this is the days of Teshuvah. It's about us returning to God. What does it mean, Teshuvah? Teshuvah means that we're no longer separated. We are becoming one with God, and that is the mission over the next couple days as we reach into Yom Kippur. So have a wonderful day. Have an easy fast. Have a meaningful fast. And we should see lots of blessings, all those blessings that we got from Rosh Hashanah to come to us over this wonderful year. And then over the next couple days, we'll talk more about the different details and different pathways of doing Teshuvah. Wishing you a great week, a successful week, and we'll talk more tomorrow.